Welcome into the Alabama Football Report. I am Tom Downey. Coming up on today's show at the Senior Bowl, Kalen DeBoer sounding off on the defensive line / the front seven for the Crimson Tide. The transfer portal, what Bama did there. Ryan Williams. Before all of that, though, some news, good news, by the way, on Alabama's defense. Jah-Marien Latham is set to return for a 7th season of eligibility, which is... that's almost being a doctor. Then again, I do know Miami got an 8th-year guy, so it is what it is. If you are excited about Latham's return, show it by liking the video right now. Didn't play a lot last year, but I think this is a big deal for the Crimson Tide. So like the video, please, and thank you. Latham was kind of originally listed as a linebacker for the Crimson Tide. Played in just one game in the 2025 campaign. He suffered what was called a lower body injury in the season opener because... much like hockey players, before SEC reporting is mandated, there's upper body and lower body. There's nothing else there. But then suffered a very serious neck injury in practice before the Georgia game as he was getting ready to return, ended his season. So he was, for the Tuscaloosa News, able to get a medical redshirt for the 2025 campaign. So the bonus years then. Had the COVID year in 2020, didn't count. Had the regular redshirt year, only played 4 games in 2021. Actual counting seasons in 2022, 2023, 2024. Then medical redshirt this year, and now we'll get that extra 7th season for 2026, which I think is a big deal. Not because he was some crazy good player, although he showed some flashes in 2024, but offers a lot of really good depth and flexibility across all these different spots. He's listed at 6'3", 262. He can play almost any spot up front, whether it's Wolf, Bandit, or kind of that 3-technique defensive tackle role. And with all the change, all the overhaul, getting back a veteran who knows the system and can contribute makes it so you don't have to put so much pressure onto all of the new guys to make a crazy big instant impact. So will Latham start for Alabama? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. My guess is no. He doesn't start, although he could certainly play the bandit role, or maybe there's an easier path to playing time. But at that Wolf spot, that kind of think more 3-4 outside linebacker, I am super excited about Yonze Pierre. Justin Hill is a backup. It's a massive question mark beyond that. All the other guys left, graduation, portal. So Latham being able to be a 2nd or 3rd option there, a 2nd or 3rd option at Bandit, and not have to, force Xavier Griffin to play the Jahad Campbell role in year 1 if he's not ready for it, I think is a good thing for the Crimson Tide. Here's what Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator, said. You feel the sense of urgency from Zebo Latham. I don't think people realize how important he was to us a year ago. He can play our Wolf position. He can play our Bandit position. He can play 3-technique in a pinch. And when we lost him, we lost a lot of the backup depth and versatility that we would have loved to have had. You know what I mean, as we went into the rest of the season. Well, now he gives that to you. Now you have that depth that can play Wolf in a pinch, can play Bandit. If you want to do some sub-package stuff and reduce him down to a 3-technique role, you have that ability. So I think this is not like a superstar huge retention, but it does help you for a defense that front 7, as we'll discuss more in a little bit here, looks a heck of a lot different than what it did last year. We want to give a special shout out to Kalshi for partnering with us on the Alabama Football Report. Kalshi flips the script by giving prediction markets back to the people, enabling fair peer-to-peer prediction trading. If you want to try it out, Kalshi is giving $10 to anyone who signs up at kalshi.com/Alabama Football Report and uses code Alabama Football Report and trades $100. Kalshi facilitates trades between people, kind of like the stock market. That means there's no VIG, no limiting your trades just because you're winning. It is the largest legal prediction market in the U.S. and is available in all 50 states. These are real money markets, people trading on what they think will happen. Here's how it works. When you trade a contract to 45 cents, it means the market thinks there's a 45% chance that event will happen. And if it does, you get $1 per contract. So you get more than double your money. Look at this market. I am all over no on Kalen DeBoer being out before September. That's just a no-brainer at this point. Even at 98 cents, he's not leaving. Get started with our partner, Kalshi, today. Kalshi is giving $10 to anyone who signs up at Kalshi.com/Alabama Football Report and uses code Alabama Football Report and trades $100. Thank you again to Kalshi for partnering with us here at the Alabama Football Report. Let's go to the portal here. Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer talking at the Senior Bowl, where a lot of these coaches often end up, especially when you're so close to Mobile. He seemed pretty pleased with the class overall, even though the rankings might disagree. He said, I feel like we addressed some areas that we either needed to going into the portal or numbers-wise. I think there's some areas we really strongly upgraded, and so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about not just the skill set of these guys that are coming in, but also who they are as people and the character. We have some guys, whether they were voted team captain last year or probably going to be. I think we got those types of guys at multiple positions. Offensive line, we needed some guys that could step in with the 5 guys graduating. Not all of them were starters, but a couple of guys that are leaving for the NFL with Parker and KP. And so we needed numbers. But we also needed the quality to go out there on the football field, offensive line. That was a heavy focus. In totality, per on 3, 17 transfers coming in, 23 transfers going out. Alabama ranks just 46th in the on 3 transfer portal. That's not very high, but if you want to do I'll call it the CFP 26 style and look at just both, this is the number 2 ranked recruiting class in the country. You know, you're not as high up for, programs like Indiana's 33rd in recruiting. Yeah, they had a great transfer class, but it ends up being a lot more even, which, as long as you're getting talent in some capacity, that's the main goal in the long run. But specifically for the transfer portal class, rate it for me. How do you think Alabama did? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. Let's go to the defensive line. Or in the front 7 kind of in general. DeBoer said he's very excited about how this new look group is going to fare. Says, quote, I'm fired up about that group. I'm fired up about what those guys bring, both the returners, then also the newcomers that come in. I think we got longer, we got bigger, and we got more athletic. And we got some guys that both in the program and guys who have come into it that really care. Common trend you notice there, of guys that, not saying buy in, but like that's really what I think Coach DeBoer means there. It's a very different group. London Simmons, Eder Kill return is kind of your top defensive tackle options. Terrence Green comes in, Oregon losing him, I think, because Amari Washington went back to school. Desmond Imazulu, abandoned option. Devin Tompkins, Smith, all these guys are like young pieces. There's not a lot of snaps among that group, especially in the Crimson Tide program from last year. But it'll be a heavy rotation, which for the dirty work stuff that they get asked to do, matters. As for the linebacker room, there are concerns here. Mostly because your top 3 guys all leave, and Kalen DeBoer did acknowledge that. Said, obviously, probably the biggest loss is the 3 linebackers there. Bringing in Caleb and then some of our young guys that were being groomed a year ago for this opportunity, I'm excited about what they can do too. Caleb Woodson, I think, is the one that I'm most intrigued by. Showcase some blitzing stuff, which Bama will do at times. I think bit banged up, of course, at his time at Virginia Tech. I think can be the veteran instant impact starter this team pretty clearly needs. The other starting spot, hey, we'll see. QB Reese, maybe a bit of a misnomer for his spot, but it's fun. Caden Jones have been in the program. They're kind of going to get the first crack there. I am excited about 5-star Xavier Griffin, what he could do. Can he be like the Jahad Campbell role early on, or does he just need a year to develop? We'll see. But it is going to be very different, and some key losses up front with both those guys off, 2 main guys off to the NFL. The guys want even more Alabama football news, transfer portal, recruiting. There still might be some guys that hit the portal after all, or join the portal. The portal's closed for Bama. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. And then finally, Kalen DeBoer, some comments, asked about Ryan Williams, like, how do you grow, how do you improve, etc. He said, I think all of us, that's our job as coaches in the developmental process. I mean, there's a piece where it's skill development, the piece with the psychological part, all of that. It's for every player. I would expect that from our coaches. As that pertains to Ryan, I think he's going to have a big year ahead. I'm excited to get to work with him here in the offseason, correct the things we feel are correctable, and have him continue to grow and go on to have a big year. It was a disappointing campaign for Ryan Williams this past season. It wasn't good enough relative to the expectations. Because he looked so good as the 17-year-old, right? In 2024, thought he'll go for 1,000 yards, and then he didn't. And I don't think it was all the quarterback play that you could potentially blame there. Obviously, other guys emerged. Guys like Jordan Bernard had fantastic seasons, but you can't have almost a drop per game. Like, that's not going to fly in college football, or especially in the NFL. I think he can fix that. That is a fixable thing. And if he does, hey, you're looking at a massive breakout year, and we're right back into the first round conversation.